Tracking the tropics at this hour, a live look at our first alert radar in the Gulf, an update on the power of this storm minutes away.
And the governor's office prepares for that storm brewing in the south, what he's expected to say later today.
And right now, the Louisiana National Guard wakes up prepared to respond for your safety. Plus, Miranda Whittington is live explaining how you can help storm victims as part of our team coverage. All you have to do is give a little blood. We do start our team coverage, however, with First Alert meteorologist James Parrish. James, what can we expect with this storm in the Gulf?
Well, there are still some question marks on whether or not it's going to impact the Arklets, but it could bring some heavy rain to our neck of the woods by the weekend.
James, we continue to be your first alert as the system continues to strengthen in the Gulf. GOSEP, or the Governor's Office of Homeland Security and Emergency Preparedness, is activating the Emergency Operations Center to level 1. That's the highest activation, with all state agencies, support groups, and FEMA joining with this response. Now, today, the governor will host a second unified command group meeting to discuss the latest on the tropical system in the Gulf of Mexico. At 12:30 this afternoon, a news conference is expected. Now, we're going to stream that live on KSLA, but Adria, as you can imagine, everyone is working on all cylinders right now to make sure folks down in South Louisiana especially are prepared for this system.
Yeah, Christian. The governor was supposed to be here with us today, but because of what's going on down south, he had to stay and help people there and man all of the preparations there. Now, storms drenched New Orleans with high water Wednesday. 30 minutes ago, leaders ordered a mandatory evacuation in Plaquemines Parish. Ouachita Parish prepares to house those evacuees. Monroe and West Monroe will house people running from these storms from 5 different parishes. At this hour, National Guard troops prepare for the worst. You are looking at video of soldiers taking another look around at their equipment, testing out to make sure everything works. It's all in an effort to keep you safe. The National Guard is also stocking up on life jackets, gas, and anything else they may need.
That's the first opportunity they really get to have an impact on their neighbors. You know, the same people that they live next to are the people that they're serving during emergency operations.
In the best case scenario, the colonel there says none of this will be necessary. But if the water gets a little bit too high, the state's ARCs are already on their way. And also new this year, the Guard will deploy wheelchair accessible boats there as well. Speaking of preparations, right now LifeShare is asking blood donors to donate ahead of the storm that's headed toward Louisiana. KSLA News 12's Miranda Whittington is live outside one of their locations in Shreveport where you can donate. Miranda, good morning.
Good morning, Adria. Well, LifeShare is really trying to go ahead and prepare for this storm by asking those who can to just come in and donate blood so they can have that on the shelves ready for hospitals.
A live look this morning in Biloxi, Mississippi. This is their city's lighthouse camera overlooking the beach there. Right now, as the storm moves closer inland, the surrounding areas there could see between 2 to 6 inches of rain. A flash flood watch is now in effect for several counties at this hour in Biloxi. Hurricane hunters flew over that area late last night from the Keesler Air Force Base. The first flight stayed pretty low altitude, looking for what they call the birth of this storm. Lieutenant Colonel Sean Cross says the goal of these missions and these flights is to better help define the intensity of this storm.
We do have satellites out there that do an amazing job, but it doesn't matter how expensive and how glamorous those satellites are. You still cannot pinpoint the lower center of pressure until you put a manned aircraft inside of a storm. We still have to go old school. They just do not have the technology to figure that out yet.
The flights will continue on a regular schedule until the storm makes landfall.
The exact track of this system is going to have a big impact on whether or not we see heavy rain this weekend. We'll break down the scenarios coming up in your forecast.
Tracking the tropics at this hour, we're taking you live to Baton Rouge as thousands there prepare for impact.
Meteorologist James Parrish.
We're likely going to see some development in the Gulf of Mexico later on today as potential tropical cyclone 2 will likely develop into a tropical depression. Here's your
James, thank you. It is 6:43, continuing our team coverage as we track the tropics. Leaders in Baton Rouge are on high alert for this system to develop into something more dangerous. They are putting out barricades and the National Guard is already ready to keep people safe at this moment. Joining us live in Baton Rouge is Liz Coe. She's showing us more ways the city there preparing for the worst. Good morning, Liz.
Adria, good morning from the capital city. You can see residents are up early, making sure that these sandbags are packed so their homes are prepared. It's all about having that game plan, right?
Yeah, Adria, we are seeing updates from South Louisiana at this hour as that system continues to strengthen in South Louisiana. Right now, one of our meteorologists at our sister station in New Orleans tweeting, flood risk increasing into the weekend. High rain chances and rain rates are expected as this tropical system develops and moves closer. Please stay weather aware and know your flooding risk and alternative routes as roads may be flooded in certain spots. As well, we want to take a closer look right now at one of the images that has a better idea as to just how intense this system could really develop into. Thanks, guys, for zooming in a little bit. The rainfall right there is expected an additional 20 inches to what's already fallen in South Louisiana. We're seeing possible storm surge up to 6 feet with winds up to 20 to 50 miles an hour. So, Adria, a very serious situation that we're going to continue to monitor all morning. And as Liz just mentioned, the governor is giving a news conference at 12:30 this afternoon. We're going to be streaming that live right here on KSLA.
Yeah, Christian, thanks. And as we mentioned earlier, the governor was supposed to be here to have interviews with us on KSLA News 12 this morning, but, he has priorities.
Right.
Got to stay there and help all of his people across Louisiana. Thanks so much. A live look at our radar in the Gulf right now. Coastal communities are bracing for this heavy rain, storm surge, and possible flooding.
Good morning. Ahead on CBS this morning, a powerful storm takes aim at the Gulf Coast. We're in Louisiana, where entire communities are already underwater, and a hurricane watch has been issued. Plus, could artificial intelligence put millions of jobs in jeopardy? First, on CBS this morning, one of Amazon's top executives tells us how the retail giant is planning to keep people working. We'll see at 7.
Welcome back. The current time is 6:50, and for today,
6:51. Let's get you up to the minute. Here's a look at what's making headlines.
Adria, the governor's Office of Homeland Security and Emergency Preparedness is fully activating the State Emergency Operations Center to level 1. That's the highest activation, with all state agencies, support groups, and FEMA joining in this response to this storm. Now, today, the governor will host a second unified command group meeting to discuss the latest on the tropical system in the Gulf of Mexico. Look for updates on our KSLA app and on air.
Louisiana and several neighboring states are bracing for that weather system developing over the Gulf. We've been telling you all morning about flash flooding. Flash floods dump about 8 inches of rain in New Orleans in 3 hours yesterday. Louisiana is under a state of emergency this morning. A mandatory evacuation is in effect in Plaquemines Parish. A voluntary one is also in effect for Grand Isle. Parish leaders worry the possibility of a big storm surge could force water to overtop levees. Those evacuees will be headed to West Monroe. You can donate blood to help storm victims. LifeShare Blood Centers said overnight that hospitals need blood before this storm hits. We have 3 centers that are ready to help. Today, you can donate in Shreveport at Linwood Avenue or at Texarkana location on Summerhill Road. You can start donating at 8 o'clock this morning. An Amber Alert in Dallas for this little boy, Cedric Jackson. Police say Tuesday night his aunt put him to bed, and when she checked on him Wednesday morning, he was gone. For any information about where he may be, call authorities if you know anything. Shreveport police investigate an early morning shooting. They say someone shot a man 3 times around 3 o'clock this morning on Herndon Street near Centenary Boulevard. We're told the victim was hit in the hand, leg, and backside. Police are working to learn more information about that shooting at this hour.
we do expect we're going to see some type of tropical development in the Gulf of Mexico today. The potential tropical cyclone 2 will likely develop into a tropical depression later on today.
James, thank you. We are staying in team coverage at 9 o'clock this morning. I'm going to be in the first alert center following the latest developments as this tropical system inches closer to the Gulf Coast.
Yeah, we are waiting, Christian, to hear if maybe it will be upgraded by then. We're going to track this storm as it churns in the Gulf. James Parrish will be live in just minutes on Facebook. That's at 7:15. He's going to send out an alert on the First Alert Weather app at 8 o'clock as well. And then at 10, the National Hurricane Center gives us an update. We are going to find out if this storm will be upgraded, and you're going to find out first right here on our KSLA News 12 app. Of course, make sure that you download our First Alert weather app. You can see right here, located in Shreveport, but we can watch also what's going on in the Gulf here. And we're also going to have updates on flooding that could happen along New Orleans and the Baton Rouge area, as well as all across the Louisiana coast. So make sure that you download that, because we're going to have updates throughout the day and over the next 60 hours, 72 hours on our KSLA News 12 app.